Hey guys, what's up? Today we are doing my experience of the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally after 20,000 kilometers. That experience is coming right up. What's it like owning the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally after 20,000 kilometers, guys? What made me switch in the first place from BMW GS to Ducati? First things first, I wanted to say that leap was actually a big leap. You know, when you start off with a certain brand and then you move to something else, it's kind of like cheating. You know what made me first switch over in the first place? I went over to my local bike shop and, you know, the sales guy asked me if I wanted to try the Multistrada V4S. I believe it was a 2023 or 24, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna switch over, but I'll try it. And once I took it out on the highway, and I opened up the ponies, guys, I was right then and there already sold for the bike. I mean, the power that it has, the speeds, you reach triple digits without even knowing you've hit it. It just pushed a lot harder and more effortlessly than my older GS. It was a 2018, but nevertheless, it's still new. It had the new TFT display on it. So that's what it was like for me. I'll tell you what, owning the Ducati, I guess any sort of Ducati, maybe Multistrada specifically, is a special thing on the road. During my whole travels, 20,000 kilometers, I have not seen one other Multistrada on the road yet, except for one. And that Multistrada, guess what it was? Of all Multistradas, there's so many different types. There's the V4S, there's the Grand Touring, the new one that just came out. Although I don't know why they made that Grand Tour with such a small fuel tank. I'll get on to that a little bit later. But I ran into a V4 Rally, and guys, that is so special. I can't tell you how much that meant to me, especially in my helmet. I was so excited to see another V4 Rally. And the funny thing about this one is, at that time, I was contemplating what kind of top case am I gonna get? And he had that plastic one that I think fits another passenger at the back. And when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, this guy. So he put a black top case on, not even the same aluminum pannier one. I will say about my trip that I just went to, I just came back from a Newfoundland trip. 10,000 kilometers, guys. And I will say about a black top case, don't put any eggs at the top, because that black top case, if it's black, it does absorb a lot of heat. I noticed that, well, especially if it's aluminum, right? So I put on the Jivi Trekker top case, the Dolomiti it's called, I think. And when you touch the top case, it becomes really, really hot. And the bottom ones, the aluminum ones, I touched them and nothing. So that is the thing to be worried about. If you're putting hot drinks or cold beverages at the top, put them on the sides. They'll stay cooler longer. But my 10,000 round trip to Newfoundland. So here's the thing. I encountered lots of bikers, Harleys, GS's, KTM's, yeah. These were the and Honda Goldwings, a lot of Honda Goldwings on my tour there. And not one of them was a Multistrada. I probably did see Ducati Panigale, one or two here and there, but no Multistradas. And that, to me, is excellent. It just screams of the exclusivity of the Multistrada. And it's that much more exciting when you do see one on the road. GS riders are amazing. I love them to death. They're so welcoming. They come in such a big pack. I actually met a big pack on my travel to Newfoundland, and that was rather quite amazing. I've always known them to be great guys when you meet around, but something about it where you're always staring at the same bike. You guys have a GS, I have a GS, but at least now when I entered their pack and met other riders along my route, at least we had something new to look at now. What is my favorite thing about the Multistrada V4 Rally? Guys, I have no favorite thing. After 20,000 kilometers, what have I grown really appreciative of? Well, I'll tell you what. It was my screen working. The TFT display on this thing is a clear-cut gem. Even with the sun beaming in towards the screen and I'm traveling, guys, I can still see clearly. The ride modes, the suspension adjustments, activating the radar cruise control, all so crisp and intuitive. I couldn't be more thrilled than to use them. Rather quite intuitive. Whereas I know it's not a BMW comparison, but on my BMW GS, the TFT display, it glitched out on me. Yes, it went purple. It happened for quite a while and they wouldn't fix it. And I think it lost me a lot of money on the bike, because when I traded my GS in for this Multistrada, they dinged me for $3,000 just for that screen. I still don't know how a screen glitches out. Apparently it happens to a lot of the GS's. Major glitch out. Oh, and when you're doing long distance touring, here's the thing about the Grand Tour. I think it's a normal 22 liter tank and a 30 liter tank which comes on the V4 Rally. Guys, when I'm traveling hard miles, I don't want to keep stopping off at the gas station. And especially a gas guzzling Multistrada. Guys, if you don't have a 30 liter tank, you're going to be stopping off at the gas station so many times over and over again. You know, I already had to stop off so many times with a 30 liter tank, but that is one of the godsends of creating such a beastly bike. I mean, I know it's big, I know it's tall, but the tank, it complements it. Imagine driving a smaller tank. I couldn't live without it. I'll tell you what, on my trip to Newfoundland, waking up in the morning or coming out from a restaurant after a rest and, you know, traveling into where it feels like almost nowhere, where nobody else is around. You know, on my old GS, when I did that, I always had to worry about, oh my god, do I have enough gas to get back? Well, now with this V4 Rally's 30 liter tank, guys, there's no more off-road anxiety. It's like, I look at my fuel gauge and I'm like, okay, there's still a lot of gas left. But on my GS, it's like, oh, I always had to worry. So I'm so thankful they put this 30 liter tank on top of this V4 Rally platform. That is truly one of my favorite things about this bike. I know a lot of other bikes have a 30 liter, but that is one of my favorite things. Looks wise, guys, I absolutely love the aesthetics of this bike. That black look with that brushed aluminum, with those aluminum panniers. That look makes me feel happy when I look at it. You know, I love my red bikes. I have a Panigale V4S and MV Agusta, and I love red. So I wanted something with a little bit of red still, but with a whole lot of black and a whole lot of aluminum. I'm a sucker for aluminum, so. Is there anything I would change about the Multistrada V4 Rally? Guys, there's simple things, no deal breakers whatsoever, but the wind flaps on the side of it to control the airflow, guys, that thing is amazing. I always found that they were in the, some of the times, they were in the wrong position for me. Like for instance, the night before I would be cruising, it'd be hot, blistering heat, I get to my spot, stop my bike, and then the next morning when I wake up, crack of dawn. It's cold, obviously, especially in Newfoundland where I was traveling. And it's like 0 degrees in the morning with the wind chill. So I want to close, but I had already gotten on my bike. And so when I'm riding, I'm like, oh god damn, I forgot to close my vents. And it's a little bit dangerous to operate those things while you're riding. So I found myself having to always at the next fuel up, remember to close them, which I always forgot about. I always forgot to close them or open them when I needed to, when the temperatures varied. So maybe like a little button that can open and close them, or make it more easier accessible to open and close them. I don't know, but that's such a small thing. Oh, one other thing. So I do know that the GS's, the new ones that is, not like my old one, you can charge your electronics in the storage boxes, in the panniers. I wish Ducati made that. Yeah, that would be good. But that's only for the camera guy, right? The guy shooting the Ducati and all his adventures, he might need that, which is me. What do you think about the braking system on this? Guys, the brakes on this are amazing. I can stop on dime. I never was worried that they would fail, and they just perform flawlessly, guys. I used them so much on the Cabot Trail in my trail braking, and they did not skip a beat. So here's a question that I got a lot. Multiple times when I encountered people on the streets with my Ducati, they say to me, is this reliable? Guys, I guess when you come from Ferrari, Lamborghini, those types of exotic bikes, you kind of tend to think that servicing it is expensive and maybe they break down. Not so with the Ducatis or this Multistrada per se, guys. It's been a bulletproof tank for me. I haven't had to do one thing. I couldn't imagine anybody having to do any thing on it that was serious. I do know that my GS had to do a 20,000 kilometer overhaul. I had to spend like $2,500 to do a service for that guy at 20,000. And guess what? My Multistrada is at 20,000 right now, and I don't need to do that service on it. All I gotta do is change the oil. But yes, the Ducati is a bulletproof tank. So there was one day where I was coming back from Newfoundland, and I was just like, all right, let's just finish this trip up, get back home and settle down. So that was like a 1,500 kilometer trek. You know, I've only probably driven 500, 1,000 kilometers at a time. But that day I was a little ambitious to do 1,500 kilometers with the V4 Rally. I mean, I want to enjoy my time. I don't want to break my back, right? But that day that I did my 1,500 kilometers, it was not so bad. It was still enjoyable. The only complaint that I would have has nothing to do with the bike, guys. That bike performed flawlessly. It got me home safe and sound. I actually ran into a rain squall at that day, and I wasn't even worried about the bike failing. Jesus. The only thing I was worried about were my tires. I destroyed the tires. In this one trip, I actually put new tires on just for this trip. And by the end of it, by the time I got to Newfoundland, I was worried about my tires because I had worn them down so much. Yeah, the bike is great. I'm actually so happy with the bike. The only thing would be third-party things like tires, top cases, anything I slap on, I would worry about that failing before I ever worried about the Ducati Multistrada failing on me. But yeah, back to my 1,500 kilometer travel, it was a breeze. The only thing I could say was, I don't know if it was the heat hitting the seat portion under my ass. My ass was on fire, guys. I'm not even joking. It feels like it's burning. It feels like I was sitting on hot lava. That's how hot it got. One funny thing that I did with this V4 Rally, which probably left a little bit of a mark, was, well, next time I won't do it that way. I'll probably buy a cooler or something. But I hauled some lobsters on the back of this thing.
It's dripping wet, but
it was my lobster hauler for the day. That was fun. You know, I brought it back to my cousins. We all ate the lobsters, guys. If you've never been in Newfoundland, go. I got them for $8 a pound. Not only that, it seems like their scales are broken in our favor. So what I usually would buy a 5-pound lobster at the restaurant or store, the lobsters look like a 10-pound lobster with the scales that they use. So the trick to getting these lobsters are going right to the docks. They're called wharfs over there, and just Google search wharf and just go drive right to them and ask some person, hey, can I buy some lobsters? And they usually direct you to a guy to buy them, and that was a good experience. Go to the wharf, guys. Wherever you go, it's called wharf. What stands out about the Multistrada V4 Rally? Guys, what's amazing to me is the size of this thing. This thing is massive. But carving the canyons in the Cabot Trail, guys, this thing is nimble as hell. It just carves the corners so effortlessly with the brakes and the handling, guys. It doesn't feel that big. It feels like a little sports bike when you're carving the corners there. It just worked and performed like a gem. It's amazing how Ducati has engineered this bike to handle that way. It's so after this 20,000 kilometer trek with the Ducati, my time spending with it, I will say that it has been a good journey for me. Do I wish to trade it and get another bike? Yes, I do. But only if the test ride that I get in the coming week slays the Ducati. I'm not gonna switch over if it doesn't. If it does, I will switch over so that I can create some new content. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna keep it, obviously. I mean, I'd rather ride the best bike instead of a bike that's not as good. And I don't want to be getting used to a bike in order for it to become better than mine. I'll know right off the bat from the test ride whether that new GS 1300 GSA is better than this V4 Rally. I will say, guys, I got two of the heaviest hitters of sport and naked. These are hypers and these are very fast bikes. Why do I enjoy to ride a touring or an adventure bike so much, guys? I love my fast bikes, but at the same time, I love comfort. Do you sleep on a bed? Do you like a comfy couch while you're watching your TV? Do you like to eat your food on a table? Do you like comfortable slippers? Or comfortable clothes? Or just being comfortable? Guys, that is what an adventure bike is about, or a touring bike, or a sport touring. It makes riding so comfortable and enjoyable. Would I ever get rid of these? Hell no. I love these bikes as well. I love them as well. They are my Sunday riders, my Friday nighters. They are the ones that I want to use to pull up in. They are magnificent. But for my everyday riding, wherever I go, and I don't want to break my back and I just want to enjoy just being on the ride, V4 Rally all day long. These, when I want a big smile on my face, I'm gonna hop on these. So if you guys are a sports rider or a naked rider, keep them. I would absolutely keep them. But try one of these too. Try a adventure or a touring bike, sport touring. If you like these types, go sport touring, and tell me how it is after. Tell me how comfortable that bike is and how much more you want to ride it. Actually, the funny thing is, my V4 Rally, it blocks so much wind that I ride it in the early spring and during the late winters. Other people are looking at me like, this guy is crazy, what's he doing? No, but what they don't know is all that wind blockage. I got the bigger windscreen, I got the things that cover up my legs, I got the heated seats, the grips, and the heated jacket on. And guys, it's like I'm riding in the sauna while I'm riding that thing. So I'm assuming other bikers, like the sport riders, are not even on the road yet because they can't be. And if you are, I feel bad for you. How do I know? Because I had them myself. I know what it feels like to ride them in the cold or on long stretches. Once again, not knocking sports. I love them too. Look, I have them. Just saying, for comfort, for every day. If you can have two bikes, your next bike, grab an adventure or a sport touring. You will thank me. One other thing about this V4 Rally, guys, it's such a big bike, but good in the sense where you can see up over everything. The traffic that comes, you can see over top of cars. It's like you're over top of them. And cars can see you coming a mile away. It's funny because they actually get out of the way of this thing. They're like, wow, what's this thing coming? And they actually dodge you. It's pretty funny to see. Hey guys, so that was it. That was my experience with the Multistrada V4 Rally after 20,000 kilometers. Guys, get one. That's all I gotta say. Get a used one, save some money. I know they're a little expensive. They're going for what, $37,000. I mean, dealers are always knocking off $3,000 off of it. I bought mine used, guys. You can buy them for around 26 grand. That's like $10,000 off, a bit more than that. If you could score a used one with low clicks, do it. You will thank me. Buying a new one, guys, those things depreciate hard. The dealers knock the prices down on those things. Try to score one used with the accessories already on it. If you did, you are gonna thank me. And guys, if you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that likes button, smash that subscribes, and leave a comment. Let me know what you're planning on thinking of doing. If you're gonna switch from GS to Ducati, or you know, if you already have a Ducati. Let the other people know what your thoughts on the Multistrada is. You know, I'm not a Ducati ambassador. I just go after which bikes work the best, and for me, whew, Ducatis are great. Well, BMWs are great too. I'm actually doing my test ride on one next week, and I will let you know how that goes by comparison. But yeah, guys, that is it. That is my 20,000 kilometer experience with the Ducati Multistrada V4 Rally, and it was a good one. Would I do it again? If I had to do it all over again, would I get it? Hell yeah.